Cambodia has no political prisoners and no political regrets if politicians apologize. On June 6, 2021, Excellency Chin Malin, Vice Chairman and spokesperson of the Cambodian Human Rights Committee, made 5 points in response to the joint statement of the organizations calling on the government to release His Excellency Chin Malin's statement on his Facebook page, which reads as follows. The joint statement of the 20 organizations calling on the government to release all prisoners of conscience is unconstitutional and unconstitutional in Cambodia for 5 reasons. 1. According to the Constitution and the principle of separation of powers in a democratic society, the government has no power to release detainees under the jurisdiction of the courts, and no individual or institution can order the courts to be independent. 2. In Cambodia, there are no political prisoners or prisoners of conscience, as the 20 organizations claim. Only politicians convicted of criminal offenses. In Cambodia, peaceful expression is a right, not a crime, but rather an expression that affects the rights of others, national security and public order. It is a crime, not an exercise of rights. While those who commit these crimes must also be punished according to the law and are not considered prisoners of conscience, as stated by these 20 organizations. 3. Calling for the release of prisoners of these 20 organizations to address prison overcrowding on the basis of existing legal procedures and procedures is not an appropriate measure, but rather leads to repercussions negative to security and social order. Only releases based on existing legal procedures that have been applied in the past have been released, such as the release measures used in the Justice Ministry's campaign to resolve congestion in the courts of the Ministry of Justice and the amnesty and commutation of the government's annual sentence, etc. Only then can social security be ensured and a sharp reduction in the number of inmates in prisons. 4. The release of detainees at the behest of these 20 organizations to address the issue of COVID-19 infection in prisons is not an appropriate and effective measure, but rather a health measure. And the strict administrative measures of prison management that the Ministry of Health and the General Department of Prisons have been implementing are the appropriate measures to ensure social security and the effectiveness of preventing the spread of COVID-19 in prisons. 5. Such unlawful and politically motivated calls will not help protect all detainees, but only participate in the court process and defend themselves legally. The only legal way to protect those target groups in a democratic society is the rule of law.
ប្រទេសរបស់យើងគ្មានអ្នកទោសនយោបាយទេមានតែអ្នកនយោបាយជាប់ទោសព្រហ្មទណ្ឌតែប៉ុណ្ណោះ